So I want to go over a trade proposal, a blockbuster trade proposal that I think the Yankees should consider doing, particularly since the Mets just came across and teamed up with the Cleveland Indians for a massive trade. And as you probably all heard, they've acquired Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco for four prospect/players. Andres Jimenez, Ahmed Rosario, and right-handed pitcher, I forgot his name, Josh Wall maybe, and an outfield prospect. And particularly the outfield prospect and the pitching prospect have pretty high upside. So, but clearly the Mets won this trade. It was an absolutely outstanding trade for the Mets, and kudos to them. They really won that trade. Yes, they did assume all of the salary from Lindor and Carrasco. Carrasco having 2 years of control left with an option for a third year for a total of about $40 million, and they're going to assume Lindor's final year of arbitration, which will probably be $20 million, and I'm confident that they'll be able to lock him up to a long-term extension. So, well done, Steve Cohen. And it does take Francisco Lindor off the trade market for the Yankees, and personally, I thought he should have been the number one target in an acquisition for the Mets. I personally think they could have brought back DJ, and they still can, and still traded for Lindor and had both of them. But clearly, they had different ideas in mind. Now, this is a trade proposal that I think they should consider, particularly because the number one, at least in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's views, the number one shortstop target is now off the market. So if they don't re-sign DJ Lemahieu, Torres will stay at second, which is not his natural. At short, which is not his natural position, or something else will happen. If they don't bring DJ back, they can move Torres to second and then sign a stopgap shortstop, or try to trade for one of the big guys before they become free agents next year. Or if they do re-sign DJ, then obviously they keep Torres at shortstop. So this is a blockbuster trade I think they should consider, particularly because it addresses multiple needs. And the team they should pair up with is the Chicago Cubs. They're still looking to cut salary. They've already moved on from Schwarber and Darvish and one of their young outfielders. And there's been talks apparently between the Mets and the Cubs about Chris Bryant recently too. So I could actually see him being moved to the Mets or the Dodgers or another team. But there are other third basemen available as well. But in terms of the Yankees, this is my trade proposal. I want to know what you think, okay? And by the way, if it's your first time to the channel, welcome to the channel. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button, because it helps make the channel available to a lot of other Yankee fans, and it helps other baseball fans and Yankee fans know that the channel exists. So please hit that subscribe button and that notification next to it so you don't miss content, and so that the channel is shared with other people. I want to share this with as many people as possible, so I appreciate all your support. Here's my trade proposal. So the Chicago Cubs get Miguel Yajure, who's a top Yankee pitching prospect, who's got good command. He's highly regarded in the system. He's a top 5 prospect. Clark Schmidt, who's actually their number 2 prospect, another pitcher. And to me, he's actually, when he's healthy, he's Kerry Wood-like. He's got that look and that feel, and he's got that kind of movement in his pitches, too, that resemble Kerry Wood. And then Miguel Andujar, who has versatility. Who, in case they do move Bryant, they can plug Andujar at third base. And now that he's established being healthy again and established production, his bat is live again. And he's shown in the Dominican League hitting extremely well there. He gives them flexibility. Plus, if they, sometimes Bryant plays the outfield, they can move him out there. And if they don't move him, but it gives them flexibility, too, in case they want to move somebody like Jason Hayward in a separate trade, because they've made it known that they want to cut payroll. So, and this is a good way to do it. So Andujar, Mike Tauchman, another outfielder, who's actually shown, who's apparently a lot of teams are interested in, which gives them more lineup flexibility or positional flexibility to make moves. Even though they have Ian Happ, who's a young prospect, but they could bump him to center field and kind of move other guys around as well. And then Jonathan Loaizaga, who's been a little bit inconsistent, but he's got a big arm, and he's when he's pitched well, he pitched really well with the Yankees. So they would get 5 guys. And I may even add a Luis Gill in there as well, which would be 6 players with controllable years, which almost up to about 25 years of team control combined at a low cost, in exchange for Kyle Hendricks, one of their top starters, He's got 3 years of control off that about $42 million. Wilson Contreras, their starting catcher. And Javier Baez, their shortstop. This to me is a huge blockbuster as well. It fills needs for both teams. It accomplishes the Cubs' goal of getting a lot of payroll relief. Upwards of those 3 guys, you're looking at close to $40 million a year in payroll relief, or a little bit more. And in return, they're getting cost control players that give them a lot of flexibility. You're also getting 3 guys that'll help boost their pitching prospects, boost their major league and minor league pitching when their minor league pitching is gutted. So this gives them depth to protect themselves. So that would be the trade. Okay, so and again, I like Wilson Contreras because even though Sanchez has been around, I like Sanchez. Wilson Contreras to me is a more consistent catcher, better defensively, and more consistent, overall defensively and offensively. He doesn't have the 490-foot home run talent, obviously the Mickey Mantle type potential bat like Sanchez has, but his consistency is key. Plus, he's really one of the best backstops in baseball, and I think he could do a better job of handling in multiple, pitcher rotation than Sanchez would. And again, I like Sanchez, but I think they can move him to maybe Miami for a prospect or somebody like that, prospect or two, or even add him to this trade. But I think with the goal of lowering payroll, he can go elsewhere for a prospect. But Wilson Contreras, I think, it would be a good addition. Javier Baez would address the shortstop issue, particularly. Even if they made this trade, then they would not have to bring back DJ LeMahieu. They could plug in Baez at shortstop, move Torres to second, and be younger overall at both positions. Yes, it would be hard to lose DJ's offense, but Baez has a really good bat too, and plus he's 8 years younger, or 6 years younger than DJ is. So is Torres. Torres is 6-7 years younger than DJ is as well, or maybe 8 years. And then obviously Kyle Hendricks gives him that clear number 2 or that 1B to go behind Garrett Cole. Okay, I have a feeling that the Yankees are going to rely a little bit too much on Luis Severino coming back. He's not coming back until the summer anyway. So whatever we get out of him is what we get out of him. They have to gradually build him back. And Domingo Germán, they both missed an entire year. One because of injury, one because of suspension. But personally, I don't think either one should be at full strength again until 2022. So bringing in somebody like Hendricks gives them flexibility to not have to rush these guys back. Okay, I still think they should add another starter like Corey Kluber via free agency or somebody like that. But Carlos Rodon, a younger lefty pitcher. But depth in pitching is the name of the game, especially with the Yankees. They always have pitchers go down, and their depth gets challenged every single year. So I'm bringing Kluber and Rodon, bring in a couple of starters, free agency, and then trade for one. And this right here is a blockbuster trade. It addresses needs for both teams. It gives the Yankees that more stability at catcher. And right now, with Sanchez and Higashioka as the backup plan, I'm not very confident in that. Contreras and Higashioka I'd be more confident in, but that's just my opinion. Would I miss Sanchez? Yes, he missed that bat when it's on, but it's frustratingly way too inconsistent. But there's too many issues behind the plate. Although, in his defense, he has had coaching changes and he has had to change his catching stance the last couple of years. So, and he's busted his butt to do it. But the overall consistency is what I'm looking at in terms of being a catcher. So, and I think Contreras at this point is a better option for catcher, which is why I have him included in the trade. So we'll get a number 2 pitcher, we get our consistent catcher, and the shortstop. And in exchange, they get 3 pitchers, an infield and outfield prospects. Okay, and even if you add Luis Gil to that as well, so they get a lot of prospect depth. They get a lot of cap relief. And we may have to sweeten the pot. We may have to add somebody else in there. But I think this would be a good trade for both teams to consider. It would accomplish both their goals. And again, until free agency starts, I still think more trades like this are going to be happening until we have a better idea on what the 2021 season is going to look like. So it might be 160 games. But it might be no fans for the first half of the season. Who knows? Or it might be 120 games with gradually increasing fans or something. Who knows what it's going to be? They're differing. They have different sides. So we'll see what they come to as a compromise point. But until then, I think free agency is going to go slow. But think about it this way. I mean, the later this happens, free agency starts. I mean, the spring training starts in about 5 weeks. So, which is why I think it's a good time now for the teams to make these trades, because once free agency starts, you're going to have a 3 to 4 week period where teams are just going to go bananas bringing in people. And you're going to miss out on opportunities real fast. Okay, and if the Yankees are asleep at the well, even though they made a trade for Greg Allen, an outfielder, which gives them outfield depth, which to me signals the end of the Brett Gardner era. He's also younger. He's faster. He's fast, and he's 28 years old, so he's about 8 years younger than Gardner, and he's got 4 years of team control. So it also helps keep the payroll down. And they just got Julius Chassin, I think that's his name. He won 15 games with the Brewers in 2018. Fine and all. They signed him to a minor league deal for some more pitching depth. So as many guys like that as they can bring in, I would bring guys like that in. But we need somebody on the front end, which is why I have Kyle Hendricks on here. So I think this is a good trade for both teams. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Give me your feedback. I want to know what your thoughts are. And, I'm going to make a couple more blockbuster trade proposals. So be on the lookout for them. And be safe, everybody. And I will talk to you next time.